If you are here, you are not late. You are perfectly on time and just where you need to be. Hey, everybody, this is Megan Holly, and this is the Magic Made podcast. Now, rewind for a second because if you've been here for a while, you might be like, what did you just say? Yes, the Magic Made podcast is here. Same space, same heart, all the things. We're just shifting a little bit. And in fact, I don't even know if I'd call it a shift, if you will. It's more of just stepping into what always has been. Honestly, there's always been a sign behind me, if you're watching on YouTube anyways, that says, make your own magic. And so it's only right that we bring in the magic era here at the podcast. So if you're new here, it won't feel any different to you, but we are here and ready to rock and roll for 2026. I can't even believe that I'm saying that year out loud, but I figured I would start this year, this episode, this kind of jump into our magic era as an episode because I've heard from many of you that you just want to get to know what this world, this community, what I'm all about, and what to expect here. So what better time than the first week of January to do just that? And so again, like I started the episode with, when you're here, you're not late, you're not being scrutinized, you're not being judged, you're just here. You're here for a moment in time to connect with yourself, with something greater, something that may be on your heart. And that's what we're all about here. And so this episode, I'm going to touch base on some different thoughts and questions and musings that have come from my community, some that will just help set the tone for the year. And with that, let's just jump in. But before we do that, I do need you, and I'm calling you in to take a deep breath because so often, and especially coming off of kind of the end of a year and the chaos that comes with wrapping up a season and the holidays and all of the things, we are not taking as much of a time to ground into our bodies and into ourselves. So take that big, beautiful, deep breath as you listen and as we embark on this little journey together here for a bit. And thank you for being here because at the end of the day, this is what this community is about. I will be honest, it was if I'm being completely transparent, a shit show of kind of self-doubt walking into the studio today. I was getting all the things done and making notes in my head and making sure I had all the things. And I was talking myself out of so much. And so I needed to take a deep breath. And so I share that with you so that you can know that there's no perfection here. And if you've been around here, it's just that. We just flow from the heart. We go into kind of the deep crevices of life. And we talk about it from all different areas and facets and mindsets to move into our best versions of ourselves. And so hopefully those breaths are serving you as we speak and those brain cells are firing so you can sit here with me, grab a cup of whatever it is that you enjoy. Actually, in my coffee mug right here, it's actually water because I need to stay hydrated. And that's just what sounded good to me. And so it feels and looks cozy for this January moment, but it is just water. Okay, so let's get cozy and comfortable. Some things I kind of want to touch base on are kind of what to expect here and what role this community, this podcast, and this world should mean, right, in the bigger grand scheme of it. And really, the answer to that is simple. It doesn't mean or express anything more than what you need it to be. What I love about this community is everybody here is doing their own thing, creating a life, a business, a legacy, or maybe just a day-to-day existence sometimes, because let's be honest, so many times we're just hour by hour just making it through. And when you're here, there's no expectations. There is no grand life lessons. And although we will tap into some takeaways and things to consider in your life, it's not a end all be all. It's not a fix it type of a thing. It's a let's take this life that we have, these experiences and all the things that we are moving through and do it together. And so if nothing else, this space is somewhere to come for a soft landing where many times you'll feel like you've got a warm hug. Other times you're going to maybe feel like you got a little kick in the tush. And most times you're going to get a little bit of both. And so that's what we do around here. What is welcome? Because this is like a welcome episode or iteration of who I am, what this space is, all of that. What is welcoming you here? What does the word welcome mean to me? It means that everybody and anybody is accepted. And we all have so many different spaces, places we've come from, we've moved through, backgrounds, heritages, cultures, all of that. None of that matters, right? Because at the end of the day, we are all just doing our best, honestly, to do our best. And so welcoming to me means just that. honoring who you are right in this moment, honoring who you've been, and really just embracing who you are looking at in the future, what like the day-to-day version of you is showing up, and being just okay with that. Being okay with the imperfect, because I promise you I will stumble over words. I will say things out of the pocket of my thought, but it might not be exactly how I want to articulate it. But the thing is, that's all that matters, is that we're just showing up. You're just showing up for you, for the community, for the greater good of all of us. And so how I really envision this community is that, and I was just talking about this on my stories a few weeks back, that it's just like you put your headphones on, you grab your cup of coffee or whatever your drink of choice is, or you sit down to do something and you need a little bit of inspiration, a little background noise and moments, and we're here together. When I listen to podcasts and I'm in a season of wanting to cultivate thoughts and come together with somebody else that I find interesting, or I just like the essence and energy that they bring, to me, what it means is that I am wanting to connect more. I'm wanting to cultivate something other than the thoughts that are going on in my own brain, which there's plenty of those, but it doesn't always mean that's exactly where I want to be. I want to bounce ideas off of people. And although, right, this may be a recording that you're listening to of me and you're not like live speaking with me, although it feels like it, at least in my world, it does. You also can comment and I will interact back, but it may not be a live interaction per se, but it is at the end of the day, because our ideas will bounce back and forth, right? If you're an active listener to, what's going on in each episode, you're going to be able to think, oh, hold on, what are my thoughts on that? And I want you to do that. I want you to come back with questions, thoughts, musings, your own take on something. That's exactly what the space and place is meant to be. The Magic Made podcast is meant to create magic. And the word magic to me isn't this grand, profound thing. It's everyday moments. It's everyday just shifts, finding a little bit of something that makes us do differently. And so to me, that's exactly how I envision this podcasting community being cultivated and used in anybody's everyday existence and life. I know that so many people want to get to know the person that they're listening to in different ways. They want to get into the nitty gritty. And so I do have a couple little prompts and things to help me do just that. Thank you for those of you who have put in some input on this, because honestly, even though it might seem like, oh, I'm an open book and all these things, which it's not that easy to just sit down, put a microphone in front of your face and just be like, here's some things about me. What is it really important to you to know about the people that you surround yourself with? I don't know, because everybody's so different. And so I'm hoping that kind of the questions and prompts that I have help you to see who I am, just not only from the perspective of what I do. You can go read a bio, you can go see other content on kind of the titles that I wear, but who am I as a person who is experiencing life alongside you and hoping to also guide you into different kind of versions of yourself. Right? That's a big undertaking, if you ask me. That's a lot to ask. So how is the best way to do that? I don't know, but we're going to try. The thing that matters most to me is that when you're here, that it's a good fit for you, that you're spending your 15, 20, 30 minutes, depending on the episode length, of course, that you're spending your time wisely and it makes sense for you to be here. So a couple of things that have popped up in questions or conversations with you guys is, what is a ritual or habit that grounds me when life is loud? And I loved that was a differentiation, because I've talked about plenty of things that I do in my life and rituals and habits and things that have helped me to navigate my own anxiety, my own goal setting, my own all the things, right? But when they said when life gets loud, something just rang really true in my ears and in my mind when I read that. And so I had to get a little bit deeper, because I'm like, what do I bring to the table that's different than what I have talked about already? Not that repetition isn't a bad thing, right? We do want to tap into things over and over again, or maybe in a different way or a different shape or form. But it just felt like the question needed a little bit more momentum, if you will. And so what do I do? What do I go to the most when life feels loud? And honestly, the biggest thing that I do is my shower ritual. I have talked about it. I think there's actually a whole episode on it that I tap through and walk you through a little bit what that looks like. But that has changed the game for me. And some of you might be, especially if you've been around for a while, wait, that's the the one you're going with? That's what you're saying? Because I know many people would expect me to say my dance and my movement, kind of my declaration to doing that every day, moving my magic, my daily dose of dance. And yes, 3,000%, that is in the running for being one of the top things. But this shower ritual, I don't know if it's because it's the winter right now, because it means more to me when it's cold out, because it warms me up. It warms up my soul. It literally warms up my body. It even warms up my brain. I do my best thinking in the shower. But I really thought when they asked me about that what do I do to dampen the loudness of life? This is it. This is it. I go into the shower. I oftentimes turn the lights off. And the first time I did it, I was like, this is creepy. Like, I can't see. It's very dim. Now, disclaimer, it's not pitch black. I'll either plug in one of my little tiny, like very dim night lights, or I'll bring in a salt lamp. So it's not pitch black. It's not so, I can't see to the other side, but it is dim. It's different. It feels different. We're not used to that. We're used to sensory input and all the things and lights and all of it. So when you go into your bathrobe, you turn off your lights, there's a different thing that happens. So I do that, turn the shower on, of course, and I go in and I do my breathing exercises. I gargle, I hum. These are all things that activate our vagus nerve that will help our parasympathetic system calm down. And so literally at the core of this ritual, it is all about dampening the loudness of life, from sensory input, from the visual of the lights, from sound, actually, as well as touch, with the gargling and the water and all of that. These things are every day. There's nothing poignant about it. And I always say it on the podcast here. Nothing here is going to be rocket science. I promise you. It may be new to you. It may be different. It might be a unique way of thinking or something you might not have done in that fashion. But nothing is mind-blowing rocket science. But these are all simple things, right? Turning the lights down, warm water, the sound of your own voice, humming or gargling or deep breathing. Any of those. I do all three of them. But if one feels more comfortable to you, great. But that's my answer to that question. When life feels loud, I go back within. I dampen out the chaos that can ensue at any given time with simplicity, with a little bit of quiet, which is hard. So hard for us to do. And so that's my answer. And in the winter, it means so much more to me because the warmth that I feel, I never want to get out of that warm water on a cold, wintry day. And if you live in the Midwest, okay, what is next? Okay, so this wasn't so much a question, but it was a prompt that they threw towards me. It was the idea of everything that I currently do and offer within my life and business was built from something. What did I once need to get there? And I had to really think about that because it was, again, so many poetic people in this space. And I just love that. So everything that I offer, and it also was met with, I want to know more about what you do. What does your daily life look like? And I'm not going to go through my daily life in this episode because it's more about what this space is about, a little bit of what to expect from just hear me, all the things. That's a whole other conversation. And I will do an episode if that's something that we want to look at. Although, spoiler alert, disclaimer, whatever you want to call it, it looks different every day. What I will answer in this moment is that to get to where I'm at and to what I offer and how I can support people from just an energetic side of things in my community, but also from a service-based situation as well, is that I had to get really clear with myself. I had to get kind of ruthless, if you will, in understanding what was working, what wasn't working, all the things. I've come from a couple different variations of my career. And so it's went from preschool teaching to programming and running dance companies into owning my own business that looks like none of those, really. And the shape-shifting that has happened has been very natural in most regards. It's just been a call from my instinct to go, I don't fit in this box anymore, and listening to that. And so I think what I will do is a episode kind of trailing through that process, because it does sound, because there's a couple other questions that were in that vein. Like I want to get to know a little bit more of how you got here. And I think that question is interesting because we forget that sometimes, and this is just a reminder for all of us, that sometimes people only know us as this version. There are plenty of people in our lives that will know us throughout different seasons and spaces, and that's cool. But so often people will know us in a certain season. And then when they learn about us or they know us or meet us in a certain season, often there's a certain perspective that kind of stays with you, even when it shifts, even when it changes. And so I will go into that and dive in. So if you have any specific questions about my journey, about my career shifts and all of that, let me know. But to answer this question is I had to get really clear, is I had to listen to what was stressing me out to the point where it wasn't a good fit anymore. And by that, I need to just give a little reminder that every day we have stresses. It doesn't mean, oh, this career isn't for me or this job isn't for me or I need to go completely shapeshift into something else. There's a difference of everyday stresses and things that go wrong in life, career, and all the things, really. And the different level of there is something just pushing and prodding and poking at me constantly that doesn't feel right to live in anymore. Like I can't deal with this ongoing feeling anymore. And that's what I listen. So when I was going from preschool teaching to programming and directing a dance program, there's some commonalities in that, working with families and children and the programming and all of that, but there's vastly different work as well. So I just had to listen, get clear, get quiet, get calm with the call. What are my strengths in this season? What have I not excelled at? And being okay to highlight those. Sometimes we live in highlight reel city. We know it. Social media feels like, at least, a highlight reel. And sometimes we need to illuminate and just bring to life the things that aren't working. And it feels a little confronting, but that's exactly what I did to get here. So hopefully that gives a little insight for those that kind of asked that vein of a question for now. And then stay tuned for kind of a more in-depth look at all of those stair steps into where I came from. What's something I used to struggle with that I now hold space for? On that same vein, because Magic Made, I need to reiterate, is meant to embrace the struggle, celebrate the beauty, find the magic. Hello, it's called Magic Made. And if you've been around for any bit of time, we find the magic in the mundane. We create our own joy. We do all of that. That's what this is about. And so the question of what did I used to struggle with that now I hold space for, I want to get that wording right, that now I hold space for, it's a beautiful thing, because it would be very easy to take a peek into my world and think, oh, it's all about joy and magic and beauty. And it is. But those are actually tools in a sense. And I don't really love calling them tools because in a sense they're not, but in a sense they are. They are ways for me to embrace the things that I once struggled to hold space for, meaning things like my anxiety and my walk with that. I used to want to hide it. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want anybody to know that was the case because it felt like I was inferior. It felt like I was weak. It felt uncomfortable because when you feel like you're not well mentally, all you can think about is that. And it sucked a lot of my life out. Now, I have had a beautiful journey through this life and so many beautiful things, even despite having anxiety. But I do think back to times, and I've mentioned this many a times here, that it sucked me from being in the moment a lot because I was in my head, worrying, stressing, thinking about my breathing patterns, because when I'm really anxious, I feel like I can't breathe. And so you can't be present when you're in that moment. You can try, you could like grip on. I think about times even like in college, sitting around a table eating with friends. And there's like little flashes of moments that I have of struggling to think, oh my gosh, I have to get up and go to the bathroom because I am just so stressed and anxious right now. A lot of times I didn't. I would just work through a little panic that would rise up, move through it, and then I'd be okay 3-4 minutes down the line. But when you're sitting in that quiet moment that doesn't feel good at all, when I say quiet, you're quieting yourself. It's not quiet, it's chaos. Quieting that need to express yourself, it's a struggle. And so that was the main big thing that came to mind when this question was posed. I now hold space for that. I literally make content and create conversation around anxiety, struggle, mental health, all of it. And I don't know if I always do a good job of showing all the facets of it, but I am hell-bent on doing it as best as I possibly can. And as we embark on this journey together and continue growing it, please let me know how I could do that better. If you have specific questions about it, if you're a fellow anxiety warrior, happy to answer questions or do content that specifically taps into that. Because I know as humans, and especially as business owners, for those of you who are, I know many of you are, it can be crippling. So I am happy to answer more specific questions about that. Please let me know. Drop it in the comments, send me a DM, whatever feels comfortable to you, because that is what we are here for, to find and hold space for the things that don't feel so nice. And thank you for that question, for posing that into our space, into our world, into this community, because my instinct is telling me it's going to open up a lot of good conversation, which is exactly what we need to heal from. Okay, what do I wish someone had told me 5 years ago? I wish they would have told me I'd have a podcast, that I would be creating content in any way, shape, or form like this, that I would be healing from things that I thought I already healed from. Isn't that an interesting thing to think about? So often you think, okay, I've done the work. I feel different. I've moved on. I've shapeshifted into a different kind of season. But then all of a sudden these little moments pop up, right? Some might call them triggers. I just like to think of them as just life reminding us of where we've come from and that there's always work to be done. Nobody is at this just like mountain peak looking at the sunset saying, not a single thing is bothering me. I don't know who that is, but if you are out there, I don't know what your secret is, but even in the best seasons of life where you are feeling like, man, things are really just on track. I'm feeling light. I'm feeling good. I'm like closing my eyes if you're watching on YouTube as I say that, because that feeling is wonderful. But also, the duality of it all is most of the time, there's at least a little something that's stressing you out. A conversation that you had that kind of pissed you off or something. Come on. If we're getting granular here, there is always something. So the idea of what did I wish somebody would tell me 5 years ago, I really wish that they would have given a little glimpse of where I was going, because I'm collected myself and my own experience differently. And I maybe I would have journaled more. Maybe I would have gave gratitude differently. You know what I mean? And I'm all about gratitude and I find beauty in the hardships. But 5 years ago, I might not have done it the same way I did now. And what if I would have started that process earlier? You know, this question is begging me to ask you, what could you be looking at differently or doing differently right now instead of waiting for tomorrow or next month or when you're done with that? What can you be doing differently immediately so that when somebody asks you 5 years from now, you could say, oh, I started that journey now. I think it's a beautiful thing. And I was doing work then, don't get me wrong, but I think just seeing kind of the hindsight situation, we all know and love, right? It's 2020. I don't even know if hindsight's 2020. Hindsight is still perspective. Let's chew on that for a second. Hindsight, yes, you might look back going, oh, yes, I would have totally done that differently, or at least changed out a couple of components. But it's not perfection. Like your answer to what you woulda, shoulda, coulda done 5 minutes ago, 5 days ago, 5 years ago is still skewed by your perspective and the experience in which you are having currently. So I don't know. Just think about that a little bit. Think about what that means to you, more importantly, because me posing these thoughts, musings, and ideas is just literally a mirror. I was going to say a mere reflection of you, as in a reflection of you, but I'm mirroring to you what you can be thinking about and extracting for yourself. So what would your answer for that be? I would love to hear that, because I don't want to be talking at you. I want to be talking with you, holding hands this whole time. So let me know what your thoughts are on that. Okay, this one's not interesting, whoa, like I never thought of this, but I just like the way it came to be. What kind of support has actually made a difference in my life? Ooh, because if you think about it, so often we have so many people around us. We have friends, family, coaches, teachers, mentors, all the things. And many of them are catalysts to us doing life differently, doing our hobbies differently, learning a new skill, getting that degree. Like literally they've put something into our existence, right? But what was the support that's actually made a difference? When you really think about it, don't you want to replicate that more or find more of that in your life? And I feel like I don't even know what angle I want to go, because I glanced at these. If you've been here, I try not to be too scripted here. It's just all a flow. And I glanced at these, and this one, I don't even know. I feel like I really, really glanced over it. What is the support that actually made a difference in my life? If I'm being honest, it's the tough love. I am somebody who has a pretty easy time at being a visionary and seeing what isn't there yet and knowing that I want to get there. But sometimes, just like a majority of us in some way, sometimes I can get lost in the middle where, oh, I know that's the end. I know I can see it. I can feel it. My husband calls me the divergent because he's like, you can just see and you'll make your way that way. But what gets lost in kind of the shuffle of it is sometimes I will take the hardest route there. And so the best things, the best support has been the tough love. When somebody sees something in me and being like, what if you just did this right now? Let's see what happens. Or you're selling yourself short. I know we all do it, right? And it's, oh, I'm here. I'm in the business of helping people shine their own light on themselves. But sometimes I'm not doing that for myself. And so the tough love, and I don't know if that's specific enough for some of your minds. Some of you might want like a very like clear cut, like this person, this thing, this exact lesson. But really it's been the tough love. Somebody looking at me and going, nope, try again. What are you doing? I know you better than that. Do it the way I know you can. So all of those things. And so I don't know if you're a tough love person. If you are, we would get along. I'm a tough love person, but I also like to be grounded and coddled. It just really depends on the season and the moment and really the thing that we're working on. If you're somebody who shies away from tough love because it's too scary, I just urge you to see what it might feel like. If you ask somebody that you know can give tough love, it's very important to find the right person, by the way, that will give you the tough love, not the, oh, but you're doing great kind of tough love. And then they give you like a little like 1-2 punch and think you've got something. No, like this is the tough love that they're just going to go, nope, try again. Nope, try again. Shove the paper across the table at you and just be like, read it again. Go do it again. I don't even think I'd be here on the podcast doing this if I didn't have some people being like, go ahead, just do it. So what is it for you? What is support that has actually made a difference for you? Not just sugar-coated something or clapped for you. Those are all wonderful. We need that. But what is the thing that's actually made the difference for me has been tough love. And I foresee that continuing to be something that I will need because that's just the way my brain works and something that it's supported by. Okay, so shifting gears for a second here, the idea, right, of this podcast, of the Magic Made space, is that we live every day just moving about our business, moving about our life. And to me, how do I say this? This grand adventure that we are on, it is not meant to be just so. There is no point A and point Z and moving through the letters, and that's all it looks like. In fact, you're going to throw a random number and then a character. It's kind of like a password these days. They want you to have uppercase, lowercase, a number, a character, but only certain characters, not those characters, all the things. That is life. And the Magic Made podcast is here to shine light on all of it. And when we look at the idea of quote unquote magic in our existence, what does that mean? What does that mean? And a question that, could be posed to us is, what does magic mean to us? What does it mean? And for me, as the helm of this magic ship here, at least for this moment in time, on this episode, in this world, magic to me now really is the mundane. And I know, okay, I've said it a million times, but it is the smallest things ever in life. When I go back to that thought when I was saying, like, I don't really like calling the things that I do or the habits, the rituals, the moments, tools, it is the essence though. Magic to me is the underbelly of it all. It's the creation of self on purpose every single day. And if that sounded big to you, oh my gosh, I don't even know if I live on purpose ever, let alone every single day. Here's my tough love. Take it down a notch. Don't make it so big. What it means is when you wake up, like today, literally, I was angry that it was gloomy. I was using that as an excuse to not be my best self, to not feel ready for coming to record, all of the things. But then I had to make a choice. Because listen, I had this on the calendar for weeks. I have somebody that is here producing and recording this with me. Their time is very precious, okay? So I'm not gonna not show up, but how can I? So the magic came in showing up for myself. And it might have, at that moment, and in this moment, be for others. And that's okay too. Sometimes we have to, that's the magic in our day, is showing up for the other people who are supporting us. For you, I want to be here with you. So why would I let a bad mood, a little gloom, a little chill, a little whatever stop me from that. I'm not. So I'm going to readjust and move along. And so for magic in everyday life, that is what it is. It is not this poof, you are happy and joyful and all the things. It is being real and saying, I can be both. I could be angry and annoyed today, but I can also be grateful and joyous. And so the Magic Made podcast is for that. And that's what magic means to me now. And I think it always really has. There's a clip of me, and gosh, this was when I first started the podcast a million years ago, recording at home and doing my best to be out there. It's on there. If you scroll back, you'll find it. I completely know that I'm going to sound a lot more monotone and a little in my own skin, but go ahead. If it's calling you, go listen. But I use a clip of myself that is from December 24th, 1996. So why do I know that? Because it's a very poignant year in my life. And I say it in the video. I literally think I start it by saying December 24th, 1996. What I'm doing in that video is videoing the lights in Disney World because I was there for Christmas time for my birthday. I'm a December 24th birthday. And we were there as a family after going through tragedy that year. Earlier that year, my dad had passed away. And so for the first Christmas, somebody had told my mom it'd be a good idea for us to be out and do something different. I was the ripe old age of 10, actually 11 on that day because it was my birthday. So I was 11. And in that video, after I tell you what date it is and all the things, I proceed to tell you, or just say, I'm not telling anybody that, I'm just literally shrieking as like a 11-year-old excited kid, isn't it so beautiful? Isn't it so pretty? And I used the clip of that because my sister-in-law had videoed it on her screen from like an old video camcorder. And so I kept it and then I used the audio in that. And I'll have to bring it back in another episode to touch on this because it's what I mean by magic. I was going through a very hard time. I was only, that was in August when my dad had died, and December was when this video was taken. So do the math. Not a lot of time had passed. Not even does it matter how much time has passed. Grief is grief. And to hear me be so excited and happy about, let's be honest, lights and Christmas and all the things that I've experienced multiple times in my life. Not at Disney World. Okay, I give you that. But I've experienced seeing twinkling lights and all the things. I am at like a level 3000 excited in this video. It's the cutest little thing. But that to me is the intrinsic embodiment of duality. That things could be hard and heavy and weird and unknown and different, but they can also be beautiful and magical and so pretty, as I said in the video. And if that doesn't give you a little insight into who I am and what this space is all about, I'm not sure how else to articulate it, but that is exactly it. And so I would love to swap stories. Can you share a little something fun, something funny, something different, something that you've said when you were a kid that maybe is like the laughing, running joke of the family that people repeat over and over again because it was just so you? I would love to hear it because isn't it so pretty? Or isn't it so beautiful? Isn't it so pretty? I'm pretty sure is what I said. Now I'm blanking on the order of my words, but that is said back to me from my family often when I'm in an excited moment. And now that I'm 40, I'm telling you what, it still is the same sentiment. That's how I go about life, even in the hardest of times. And so to start wrapping this episode, moving into the idea that this space, this place, whether you're listening, whether you're watching, is a place to exhale. Remember when I asked you to take some deep breaths in the beginning as I was starting the episode? This is a place where you come and you can feel seen, heard, valued. You can breathe a little deeper. You can feel like there's no requirements to be here. And I'm looking straight into the camera when I say that. There's no requirements, no prerequisites, no anything to be here. You don't need to be at some level of excellence. You don't need to have achieved a certain amount of things or accolades in your life. You just get to be here in a space that is loving and caring and hopefully a little bit fun for you too. In coming episodes and over time, you're going to start seeing trickling of different types of content. Like for instance, you might see me talking here on the couch and it might cut to a wonderful little edit of me doing something or working on something and bringing in what we love about this space, creativity and trusting the process and DIYs and dancing and all the things because it's a safe space. and because I want to envelop all the things that make life a little bit more special. And I want you to come along with me. And I want to hear what you want more of and what is resonating with you. And especially as the content might start shifting or looking or feeling different, me, what's working, what's feeling just like in your bones. Yes, I want more of that. I'm here for it. I am here for it because, again, this isn't us. The other day in my stories, I put my hand out and I said, let's go. Come on, grab my hand. We're going together. And that's what I really mean by this. I love podcasts that are just like telling us and talking about the thing. And that happens here. And that is the sentiment in some episodes and topics and all of that. But it's not just me talking here. This is us. And that is what is the most magical about the Magic Made podcast, is that it is us together and that we can create and cultivate something so freaking special. So from guest episodes to lifestyle moments to sitting here together, enjoying, just moving through life. We got some good things coming and I cannot wait for it. I am so freaking excited. I will always protect this space. I also need to touch on this really quickly. I will always protect this space to be a safe haven, to delete, block, get rid of things that aren't good for us, meaning topics, maybe even people. Yeah. I'm very mindful of who's in my community. When new followers come along, especially on things like Instagram and Facebook, where I can see their pages and their profiles, if it looks like it's remotely a bot, maybe somebody who's going to be trolling, somebody who's not in the same kind of mindset, they're gone. I don't care about numbers. I don't care about vanity metrics. I don't care about that. I care about the sanctity and safety, and more importantly, the celebration of this community. And I want the conversations to be beautiful. Now, that doesn't mean, let me just also have a little disclaimer, that doesn't mean that we all have to see, feel, and think the same exact way. But what I mean is I'm safeguarding it to be a place where people who are here have the right intentions, and that we can agree to disagree. We can have opinions. We can state our thoughts and the things that we feel or what we've experienced. And I will forever always make sure that this is a safe space to keep it magical, because it's not magical when there's people who are in here or bots or things like that just, we don't need that. We don't have time for that. Life is too short, right, to have that moving and going. So you don't need to take notes here unless you feel called to, or if there's an episode where there's something that you're really working on in that season, wonderful. Just let this be something and some place to land on. You can put down your guard. You can lay down kind of the facade of what you think you need to be and just be. I hope when you listen to this episode and to this just moving forward, or even if you go back to old episodes as well, which you're always welcome to do, and I hope that you do, what I hope for you is that you walk away feeling a little bit lighter, maybe accepted more in your life, or just knowing that you're not alone, because you're not. We're here. We're all here. I'm here, always and forever. Together, we are making magic in everyday life and creating a space that is safe for you to exist and for us to have this beautiful platform of free speech and forming kind of our own version of where we want to go in this life. And so I am so thankful for you to be here as we embark on this new year, as we embark on shifts and changes and embodying what has always been here. I am just so grateful for you. I cannot thank you. Really quickly, too, before I wrap this episode, I want to say a moment of gratitude for those of you who have embraced my Light-Filled collection. So I'm wearing a hoodie from the Light-Filled collection, and it is something that I have made. It says "Make Your Own Magic" on the arm so that you have a little reminder, even on the worst moments, that you can look down and you can remember that you make your own magic. It also says it across the back. I'm not going to get up and show right now because I will do not good things to this microphone, but it says it across the arms and back. I have a link in all of my bios that you can get to. And then our beautiful prisms. You guys have sold so many of these, and we are supporting other small businesses. I don't even like to say small businesses because they're growing. They're expanding. They are getting just beautiful, more beautiful by the minute. But you guys have embraced this little kind of inflection of supporting others through little magic moments in this community. And I'm so thankful for you. And we will keep doing drops. Right now, as you see this episode, we are probably closing the first drop, but there will be another. So stay tuned. Ask if you're unsure. Check my bio, all the things. But we have hoodies and prisms and more to come, because people have suggested ideas that they would love to see in the Magic Made community in this world that we are in. So thank you so much for embracing this kind of extension of our community. And I can't wait to see where it takes you. Don't forget to tag me with your plant and jewelry or your hoodies and how you're using them or where you're wearing them or where you're putting them, all the things. I love seeing it. I love knowing that we're inflecting magic in all of our lives more and more. So until next time, my friends, do not forget to find a little bit of magic in your day, and I will see you soon.